Outside London Stadium, West Ham Fan TV. No, not going to start like that. Set up. What is it?
Do you know what? I'm speechless. Look, let's talk about the game. At the end of the day, there was effort and endeavour, particularly in the first half, and we did create chances. But every time Villa came forward, they looked like they were going to score. They played an expansive 4-4-2, and they deployed a tactic, and everyone in the stadium could see it. Mourinho, their left back, and Ramsey, who was kind of like playing left wing. Basically, they were just out wide, and what it was causing an overload all the time. They played a high risk, high reward system, which enabled them to just leave Bowen to do what he wanted, Mourinho, but then double up on Kira, and that was always caused us a lot of problems in the first half, which that in theory produced their first goal with the cross, great goal by Watkins. So we had a bit of a problem to deal with then. However, we created enough chance to win that game, Nicky, and I think that I'm not quite sure, basically. That was a must-win game for me, particularly with everyone around us, bar one, picking up some kind of points. Southampton picked up a point today and everyone else picked up points. So with our next two home games being Southampton and Newcastle, we really have to get something from that. The substitutions, they came late, and it was a bit of a chess match in terms of who needed to come on. I was talking to Marshy before this, and like him, I agree with the fact that Rice, we didn't have control of the midfield today. We didn't have control at all. And Rice, basically, he didn't have one of his best games. It wasn't a good game by his standards. And I think that aided in us not having control of the game. In the second half, him and Souček swapped over, because where they were causing that overload on Souček's side, based on the fact that he goes forward, Bowen goes forward, it meant that Kira had that overload. Rice and Souček swapped sides, and that nullified it, and that's why Mourinho came off. But we didn't have control of that game, and we made the substitutions too late. Now, the whole thing with Scamacca, a lot of people are talking about what's going on with Scamacca, etc. From what I'm hearing anyway, I'm hearing that it's a disciplinary thing, and I'm hearing there's something going on in training with his attitude and stuff like that. And Moyes,
can you blame him though?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I said to you, Nicky, in fact, we both said, I've heard you say this as well, it's Hela Part 2. Yeah, Haller Part 2, whereby we've got a quality player on our hands, where if we're going to have a player like that on our hands, you need to kind of build the team around him. We've had a situation where Moyes wants to play him in a Moyes system, and that was never going to work. So I said, and I know you said it too, that we were always going to potentially be in a situation where we had a Haller Mark 2 in our hands, and that's what's happened with him. Mark my words, Scamacca will not be here next season, and we just have to grim and bear it. Cornet coming on, funny enough, I actually felt, I saw what the plan was, even though there just weren't enough time. We deployed this long ball over the top system, where it was kind of a game that actually, ironically, was set up for someone like Antonio to run onto, because we don't normally play that thing. So Cornet, a bit of pace over the top ball, but it never worked. It was just offside all the time. We're banging it, Nicky. We're banging trouble here, and I can't call it in terms of what's going to happen. But my words, one big team is going down this season. One from Bournemouth and Southampton will go down. I kind of thought it was going to be both, but I just think it's going to be one of them. I think Forest will get dragged in it, and then that final place is going to be between us, Everton, Leeds, Forest, maybe Palace. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Well, thank you very much, man. Cheers, mate. Cheers. Thank you.
Nice one.